Hello everybody, welcome back. This is CJ, your local friendly technology addict, and you're watching the Tech Addict's Attic. This is Bob, your local friendly Blackview BV9500Pro, and Bob here is charging at a full 3 amps. Now, I was just looking at Bob's charging rate a little bit ago, and I was very much disappointed because it was about 1/10 of what that number is right there. And it stayed there for a while. I'm a little puzzled as to why it did not rise above that level. But as you see, it is now. I even went to the effort of pulling out the stock cable, which I didn't want to do because I've already got C-type cables just lying around. So there's no point in using the brand new one if I don't have to. But none of them wanted to charge. Even with the stock cable on the stock charger, it did not want to charge. It was going very slow. And I made sure I didn't have any apps running. I didn't even have the radio running. And that's the thing, is the radio will drain the battery on this thing. So it'll also slow you down charging. So if your radio is active, if you've got that little two-way radio icon up in the notification shade, it will be draining your battery. It'll be pulling away from the charge that goes into it. I'm going to go ahead and init that. Let it init. You see the icon go up in there. Now we're going to watch it change the measuring on it. We were looking at roughly 3100 milliamp hours, or excuse me, milliamp, and now we're down to 2970. So that's a difference of about 130. So when you load up the radio, it's going to pull down about 130 milliamp from it. This is a bit different from the first day that I had the phone. I was running Ampere on it the first day, and I was watching it charge then too. And these numbers don't add up. They don't match what I had before. So I must have been doing something weird, because clearly it's charging, and not even on the stock cable. I've just got an aftermarket cable. Or maybe actually this might be a cable that came with my wife's S8. Neither here nor there. Stock cable, another phone's cable. As long as you've got a good quality cable, it looks like it'll handle it just fine. When I started recording this video, we were at 76%. We're already up to 77%, and I started this whole project at 75%. It's already gone up 2%. This is the fastest that this phone has charged since I've had it. 2% in 2 minutes, that doesn't seem very fast, but when you consider you got a 10 amp battery in here that you got to fill it, well, 9 amp battery you've got to fill up, you got to expect it's going to take a while. So this is actually somewhat impressive. It's pushing 3 amps in there. But let me show you the little jury rig that I've got going on here, because the thing is, wow, this is already warm. This is the stock charger. You'll notice something a little weird about it. That's a European plug. And the thing about a European plug is that it does not go into a United States outlet. It's like a round hole in a round peg in a square hole, literally. But I noticed that they kind of line up pretty well, to the point that the one plug will hold the other plug. So if you jury rig it, and I am not recommending anybody do this, by the way, if you wind up killing yourself because you're an idiot, that's on you. I am not responsible for what you do. That being said, you can get 120 volt AC to the Blackview charger if you're careful, if you know what you're doing, and if you don't kill yourself. And that's what I've been doing. Now, how can this thing push out 3 amps? Well, easy. It does that at 12 volts. 12 volts at 2 amps, when you work the math out, it's going to come up to a little over 2 amps on the charge indicator. And I haven't done the math, so I don't know exactly what the numbers will be. But I'm going to go ahead and plug this back in. Hopefully I don't pop anything. Now, we were discharging at 550 milliamps with the radio initialized. $40 milliamp. That's pretty low, huh? That's nothing. Give it a minute. Yeah, it's pretty depressing. It's only 10 milliamp, huh? 20? Yeah, really? That's best you can do? And see, this is what I was seeing 2 weeks ago when I first measured it. I thought I had a problem with my charger or my cable. I just don't get it. It was charging 100 times that rate not 5 minutes ago. And you guys saw it. I mean, it's right here on the video. Let's do this. We'll unplug it, go into discharge mode, discharge. Wait for it to measure, wait for it to read it. 550 milliamp again. We'll plug it back in again. 580. Now we're charging again, but at 50 milliamp, 10 milliamp, 0 milliamp. That's not even charging. And I'm doing nothing different. I'm using the same cable I was using a moment ago. I'm using the same charger. I've even got it plugged into the same outlet. Now this charge rate is abysmal. Well, let's try something here. It's been charging long enough. It should have already gone up if it was going to. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to exit this app, the intercom app. Now let's see what it does. Yeah, it should be going higher than this. So that I don't have to finagle the plug, I'm just going to turn off the switch. I've got a power strip over here with everything plugged into it. I'm going to turn it off. Let it go back to discharge. And back on. I'm wondering if maybe the way I plugged it in, maybe there was some staticky connection that might have, I don't know, tripped a relay or something the wrong way. Because clearly it's doing fine now. And all I did was turn off the outlet and turn it back on. So I don't know, maybe there's a staticky, from having to finagle it the way that I was doing. But clearly it's not having a problem now. So those of you who are, seeing that this, if you go to the Blackview website, they have a forum, blackview.hk, I believe it is, and then the BBS is at bbs.blackview.com, which I found kind of odd. But if you go to the forum, there are some people who complain about very, very slow charge times on this phone. And I don't know if they're using an adapter to plug the stock charger into a US plug or if they have a European plug. I don't know what the case is. But I suspect that if they're doing any kind of an adapter, that they've also got an issue with a staticky connection. And, a staticky connection putting, RF noise on the line. Maybe that noise, maybe the charger doesn't like that noise. Maybe there's some electronics going on in the charger, active electronics, that are getting messed up by that noise on it. But clearly it is charging, and it's fast charging. It's charging at 3 amps. So this battery at that rate should go from 0 to full in about 3 hours, give or take. So if you get your phone and you have a slow charging rate, maybe try a different adapter. And I don't mean a different charger, I mean the way that you plug it into your US outlet. Try a different adapter to adapt it to your US outlet, because you may have an issue with that. But the charger itself clearly is capable of fast charging the phone. And the stock cable, even an aftermarket cable, as long as it's a good quality one, they should be able to fast charge a phone with no issue. I'm waiting to see if this percentage goes up another notch while I'm doing the video. But I don't want to bore you all. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this one, and then we're going to get into the video that I promised to do earlier today, where I tell you all the things that I don't like about the phone and the so-so stuff. We're going to do all that in one video. So stay tuned.